Hello, everyone. I'm Robyn Grable, the founder of Talents Ascend and the Ascend Collective, and your host for Ascending Beyond Barriers. Welcome. Ascending Beyond Barriers is an inspiring podcast dedicated to showcasing the remarkable journeys of small business founders who have faced and overcome significant challenges on their path to success. Each episode delves into the personal stories of entrepreneurs from diverse backgrounds, highlighting their unique experiences, struggles, and triumphs. Today, I'm excited to welcome Joanna Beck, an operations powerhouse whose mantra is "Inefficiency has met its match." With over 20 years of experience in project management, change leadership, and operational excellence, Joanna has made her mission to help small businesses streamline and thrive. As the founder of Beck Insights, she brings big company strategy to businesses that need it most, transforming processes, boosting performance, and always keeping the customer at the center. A passionate mentor and community advocate, Joanna also lends her talents to RevTech Labs and the Carolina Youth Coalition. When she's not optimizing systems, you'll find her cycling, traveling the globe, and inspiring change wherever she goes. Joanna, thanks so much for being here. It's so great to meet you. I know we kind of connected on LinkedIn after I saw your post about being chosen for Charlotte's Top 40 over 40. Congratulations on that. Very exciting.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So just start out by telling us what you've worked in corporate America. You've done a couple things. You actually worked for Ag Data that the year after you left, Hefe Provost took over as president. I knew him from ADP, so a very kind of small world at times. But tell us how you came to start your own business and what prompted you to want to be an entrepreneur.
So after I left Ag Data, I was looking for my next opportunity, and my dad introduced me to a friend of his who owned his own consulting business, and he had been doing it, 20, 30 years, something like that. And so my dad thought this would be a good connection, a good networking, maybe he can connect me. And I was thinking, this might be a good time if I want to move, maybe a move. And so after about 10 minutes of, the standard, tell me about yourself. What do you like to do? Give me your resume, that kind of thing. The standard networking call. He interrupts me and he said, "Why don't you just work for yourself?" And I said, "What?" And he said, "There are plenty of companies that need help like yours, but they can't afford you full time." And he said, "You string a few of those together every year and there you go. You're making as much or more that you were." And I've loved it because I'm not stuck at one place. Right. And I learned so much more, which I feel then just only benefits my clients.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you chose transforming chaotic operations into, what structured profit machines, that's what it says on your profile. What made you choose that path? How did you get into figuring out how you can solve chaotic messes for people?
I've just always kind of walked in somewhere and looked around, and if it's not running right, I think I can fix this. And So that's just always been in my blood. There's got to be a better way to do this. I travel with girlfriends, and I'm the one that will, if we're in a car, I'll pack the car. It'll make like the spa schedule. I make sure it's all organized and we all have our treatment scheduled so we can have lunch at the same time. I mean, there's just...
Right. Now I know who to take with me on my trips.
Yeah. So, and I have one girlfriend that I travel with a lot, and she's very much like, we'll decide where we're going to go. And she's like, "I want to see these things." And I'm like, "I will get us between those things and figure out and make it right." So I do the details, and she's like, "Here's what we need to see." And I'm like, "Okay, now we're going to get into the details." So we're a good team.
Yeah, for sure. You need that balance of people that, very creative. I got all the ideas, and you'd be my Neela, because I've got all the ideas and Neela makes it happen. She figures out how to make it happen. So that's awesome. Good for you. So you got Charlotte's Top 40 over 40. Is that a hard process to go through? Is that a difficult selection or application?
Actually, I didn't apply at all. I saw it, and someone has to nominate you, and they write your application. And so I chose a very intelligent, well-spoken friend, and I said, "Hey, would you nominate me for this?" And so she did. And then the list of I guess, nominees came out, and it was like over 100 people. And I thought,
Wow.
there's no way. There's no way. Over 100 people, like who would? And then I was chosen as one of the 40. So yeah,
Wow.
it was exciting. They had a really nice event for us, like a dinner and drinks and some entertainment, and it was really nice. And then also just I think last month or 2 months ago, they do a podcast, and so they invited me to be on that podcast as well. So
Very nice.
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, congratulations again. That's super exciting. So, I read a couple other things that you have on your profile. You're not behind. You just set a deadline that made no sense in the first place. I love that because I procrastinate a lot, and it's not that I don't want to do the things that I'm doing. Sometimes I'm perfectionist, and I have that problem of if I can't make it perfect the first time, I wait and wait and wait until I have a deadline that I can't overcome. Tell us why do you say that?
Well, I mean, like you said, some people are perfectionists, and so you need to dial it back because a lot of times good is better than perfect.
Yes.
And so, and then they'll also make, oh, I need to get this done by Tuesday. Why? Right? Why? I
Yeah.
used to have this arbitrary deadline. I post a blog every month, and it has to go up at this time on this day. And it was like at the exact time. And so it was finally, I was like, nobody is waiting for me to post this. If they're going to read it, they're going to read it from a link I put on social media. So then I
Yeah.
got a lot more relaxed. I could, and that's a little difficult if you travel or you're with a client or something. It has to be their exact time on this day. You can't really box yourself into that. But you have to understand that, I mean, some deadlines are necessary, right? The
Right.
IRS,
Or
you know,
imposed on you by somebody else,
imposed
right?
on you by somebody else. But when you impose them on yourself, you
Yeah.
need to think about why. Why does it need to be done by this day?
Yeah. Are
So
there any tricks for us procrastinators that you've helped your clients overcome the perfectionist
delegate,
mishaps? Delegate.
delegate it. I mean, a lot of things, a lot of things you don't have to do yourself. With
Yeah.
what I do, I sit with clients and we go through processes and we improve them, and then we create process maps out of the discussion and witnessing and participating in what they do. And so I had the perfection problem. I would put them into the software that I use, and every box had to be super square, every arrow had to be perfectly straight. And I would keep going back in and fixing it and finding little things. And what I found when I delegate kind of the first pass of it to somebody else, so they put the words in the boxes and they, based on what I give them. So now when I go in and refine and think through it, it's a lot easier for me to not be so focused on that stuff because yeah, you're not the one that's drawing the box or drawing the arrow, things like that.
Right. Yeah. I have to say, for me, especially from a content perspective, and I don't know what your opinion is on ChatGPT or the other AI models. I didn't think I would be a proponent of them, but I have to say, because I'm a perfectionist, if I can get something that somebody's already started and I can just edit it and put my flair into it, it's oh my gosh, I love it. I use ChatGPT all the time. Neil and I call her Chatty B. That's what our nickname is for ChatGPT. But are you a proponent of those AI tools? Do you tell your clients to use them?
They are they are language learning models and they need to be trained. So I have no problem with
Yes.
AI, things like that, but they need to be trained correctly. They're not a search engine. I dealt with this with some
Right.
kids that I mentored. They would go into ChatGPT and search, when is this application due? And it gave it wrong information
Oh
because it doesn't
no.
know. Yeah. I mean, luckily I was sitting there and I would have to keep saying
Yeah.
ChatGPT is not a search engine. This is a language learning model. And so I am a proponent of it. It has made my social media a lot easier. I have a
Yeah.
friend who's a brand marketing consultant. She really helps people step up. She's helped me. Done so many of her master classes and things. And so we had a one-on-one, and it took 45 minutes, and we went through a whole questionnaire to talk about, and then she uploaded it into ChatGPT, and now it knows me, and I can say, and here's the prompt I want you to write. I want you to write
Yeah.
this many social LinkedIn posts per week and using these like 5 C's kind of guidelines.
Yeah.
And so so it's the first pass. And then my team a
Right.
lot of times will meet and they're like, this does not sound like you. You need to change this, right? So it does get a little, as my admin will say, it's a little snarkier than you are, or you. I've never heard you use the word sexy. Why is it talking about being sexy?
Oh my
So
goodness.
yeah, um,
Wow.
yeah. So
It
you
is.
do refine it, but it's
Yeah.
so much better.
You're right, though. I mean, it even says, I think, at the bottom of the screen, check these results because they may not be correct. So you
Yeah.
definitely have to manage and work it that way. But it definitely is a time saver as far as content goes. And I use it a lot. And so it's learned a lot about talent to send. And so it will say, and it's not always right. Just absolutely put that out there. So you have to be careful. You've really got to read what it is that you're working through. So pretty cool. Now there was something else interesting on your profile. It's a national park that you were on the design or something was featured on West Wing, the show. What is that? I don't know. I'm going way back into your
You're,
history here.
you're going way back, and if you're a West Wing fan, you might
Love
remember
West Wing.
this.
Yeah.
Okay, and so I can't even. Might have been. I was living in DC, so I think it might have been 1999. I can't
Okay.
remember. Um, and so we were building a project, a mixed use project, and the way a lot of um, municipalities and cities and counties or whatever, they get some of their work done as part of the process, right? You need to redo the roads. I don't know if you've ever, housing development, all of a sudden the main road gets paved really nicely.
Right.
And so part of what DC did with our project was we need you to redo this park. It was Washington Square Park, I believe.
Okay.
And it was right across from, I think it's GW Hospital. I can't remember.
Okay.
And so we, put in all this really nice flagstone paving, new benches, I think new lighting. And then it was, if you remember the episode, so it was the cliffhanger. I think it was was it the first season when he got
Okay.
shot, the president, well,
Yeah.
they all got shot.
Yes.
And then I think it was the first episode of the second season, maybe I could be wrong,
Okay.
the timing. But Toby was walking with the head of the Secret Service through a park. They were talking and it was right across, and that was the park that I did.
Oh my gosh, that's
And so, yeah.
amazing.
Yes.
That's awesome. I love those little connection pieces. We always, every time we have a favorite movie or something, we're always trying to find out where it's filmed and we'll go visit them. So, like, Groundhog Day is one of our favorite movies because I was born on Groundhog Day. And we've gone to that B&B that
Okay.
he stayed at. It's in Illinois. And we've gone to Puxatawny to the square
Yeah.
and walked through the square. So it's pretty cool to have those connections like that. Very cool. So you're a traveler as well. So tell us
Yes.
the most exciting place you've ever been.
Oh my gosh, that's so hard. That's so
Really?
difficult because they're all different. I
Yeah,
mean,
of course.
the latest one that I just went to, we were in Malaysia and Indonesia,
Oh, wow.
and we did, and that's some artwork that I got in Indonesia,
Beautiful.
and we went on an eco wildlife tour, and so
Okay.
they picked you up, and you basically took a boat to the first lodge where you stayed overnight, and then they took you on a boat the next night to the next lodge. And so the tours, you would be in a boat on these rivers.
Wow.
And it was the second day, and all of the tour guides kind of talk to each other. They text each other or whatever. And all of a sudden our tour guide, we had two boats because I think there were about a dozen of us, maybe 14.
Wow.
And all of a sudden he's like telling the other driver, he's like, we need to go here, we need to go here. And so we go and we sit, and elephants came out and crossed the river right in front of us.
Wow.
We saw
Oh
the
my.
elephants, we recorded them, we took pictures, you could hear them talking to each other. And the
Wow.
tour guide was like, you need to understand this is not, we are very lucky to have seen that. And so
Really?
to see elephants in the wild, right? That
Yeah.
was just, and to see them swim, and it was like one of them was like a mom and like a child. And so you could see the child like kind of struggling against the river current. So that was very exciting. And that was, we saw orangutans in the wild and different monkeys and birds and crocodiles. And so that was pretty exciting.
That is very exciting. Wow. So how many different countries have you visited?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I'd have
Yeah.
to,
The list is that long. Wow.
I'd
Good
have
for
to count. I
you.
mean, the small ones, you go to Europe and you hit a few at the same time, or,
Sure.
I've been in the Middle East. I've been to, Southeast Asia. I've been to Australia. I've been to
Wow.
Argentina. So I've done, yeah, I just did Costa Rica for a friend's birthday. So I think I might have done every continent except Antarctica right now. I'd have to think.
Wow.
And the birthday girl, that's her 60th birthday. Is she's already picked out the cruise that she wants to do for Antarctica because yeah.
Right. Wow. He cruised to Antarctica. Isn't there always ice around it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's very, and her birthday's in December, so hopefully she's
Oh,
picked a different time of year.
yeah.
I'm not sure. You know what? I haven't been to Africa, but that's definitely on the list. So yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow. No, my daughter and I love to travel. We moved so many times after I got out of the Navy. We moved like all the time, it seemed like. But so we had this long list of, okay, we're going to go here, we're going to go there. And then she ended up having 5 children, and we're like, it's hard to fly with 9 people. So yeah, we've unfortunately our travel has been limited to places we can drive to. But I was telling my husband the other day, we're gonna fly somewhere this year. I'm gonna take the kids. We actually took the my grandson and my granddaughter, the first two. She was 2.5, and he was 5 months old. We went to Ireland. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful over there. We would go back in a heartbeat. But it was interesting taking a 2.5-year-old and a 5-month-old on a trip to Ireland. So
Yeah, yeah.
that was the extent of it. Well, where's your favorite place to go? Do you go back second times, or is there so much to see? Just
I think there's so much to see that, I mean,
yeah,
if you go to an all inclusive, you may like that and go back again.
yeah.
We were in Vietnam last year, and we both said we'd go back again. And it's like we could go, and one of our tour guides said you could come back and speak and teach English because they
Oh,
learn English there, but it's more for testing and written. So they don't really learn how to speak it. They actually have to
conversation.
pay to take like conversational classes, and so they can work in. I know it's confusing with the communist country that that happens.
And
And so
English is hard enough to learn.
yeah, and so I was like, we could go back and teach it, and we could, that would pay
Wow.
for our trip because we loved the country. The people, it was a beautiful country. The people are so nice. The food was really good, and so,
Wow.
if you can stand the heat and humidity of Southeast Asia, yeah,
Yeah, I'm not sure I could do that anymore, but yeah. Wow, that's amazing. All right,
in
let's go.
in the flight.
Yeah. How long was the flight?
So I go direct from New York to Singapore, so that's about 18 hours.
Oh my God.
Um, Yeah, but it's for me, I don't want to go somewhere. I don't want to fly like 12 hours and then have a 4 hour layover and then have a 6 hour flight. So I'd rather just knock it out because once you
Yeah.
get to Singapore, you're so central that it's
Mhm.
only like maybe 2 hours. Like it was 2 hours to get to Kuala Lumpur. It was 2 hours to get to Hanoi. Like it's not,
Okay.
you can jump around pretty easily from there.
Yeah. I mean, we thought the flight to Ireland was 12 hours from New
Mhm.
York. So it was 12 hours, maybe because of the time change too, because we left at 7 p.m. and we got there like 10 a.m. the next
Yep.
morning or something, so Ireland time. But yeah, very cool. So, well, let's just move back to your business. So, what's been the best advice that you would give an entrepreneur if they want to start a business?
I would say, normally when they're starting a business, I would say, just figure out a way to get it all done, right? And
Okay.
if you're small enough, you're the one doing it.
Yes.
So, like you said, ChatGPT is a time saver. If you can find little time savers like that,
Sure.
using, email templates, using tools like customer relationship management tools that can send emails on your behalf, or a billing system that will, like QuickBooks will send invoices and then it will send reminders if they don't get paid. So you don't have to keep worrying about that. Just
Yeah.
finding things like that. And then when you're ready to expand, start to put, the structure in place. I mean, everybody who starts a business is good at what the business does. They
Right.
didn't start a business because they're good at running a business. They started the business because, they were a great HVAC technician and they thought I want to go out on my own, or they're very good with graphic design and building websites, that kind of thing. So,
Yeah. And my son-in-law is a good example of that. He's a brilliant dentist.
hmm
He's not a businessman,
no,
and they don't teach business in dental school.
They do not.
It's really a shame because a lot of people come out of even medical professions or just a lot of college, they come out with a core competency, but they want to start their own business. And yeah, it's been a struggle for him over the
We
years.
When I got my MBA, there was one woman in my class, and she was doing a joint MBA MD. So
Wow.
she was going to medical school, and now I think I don't know how many extra years that is,
Right?
but yeah, but she knew, you know, I wanted to open a practice, and medical
Yeah.
school, while it will give me the skills to be able to do the work, it's not going to help me
Yeah.
start a business.
And it's not so much like I tell him, it's not that you want to run the business because he just wants to be a dentist,
Hmm.
but you have to know the mechanics of how your business works in order to hold other people accountable to help you run the business. It's not,
Yes,
you can't just say, okay, you're my office manager now, have at it, without having some knowledge of what that person should really be doing for
exactly.
your
You can't,
business.
you have to have some guidelines around that, right? Like
Yeah.
they could be setting you appointments from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. without break for lunch, alone going to the bathroom, right? And so you
Right?
have to put some guidelines in
Yeah.
place.
It's
And
just,
you have to, I would also say, um, always, if it's your money, you keep control of it. Don't let somebody else sign checks. Don't let somebody
yes.
else be able to pay, right? So, and you then have to know
Sure.
how much is coming in, how much is going out. You don't want to be upside down. Medical practices require a
Yeah.
lot of expensive equipment and expensive maintenance. And so, how do you figure
Absolutely.
out what you're going to charge and all that stuff? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the financial one's a big one because we've learned, through paying the dummy tax on that even just registering for like on South Carolina, we're here in South Carolina, just registering our business with the state. We've
Hmm.
let other people do that, and then they leave, and it's like, okay, what email did he use? What password? It's like, don't do that.
Yeah.
You're the business owner, or I have somebody I trust. Neil's been with me for 5 years. I would trust her with everything, but you have to get there. So, wow. All right. Well, as we close out, tell us about the most successful business you've worked with, and what made it exciting and successful, and your best success story.
Well, I keep in touch with them. I probably have lunch with them every few months or so, but it's a construction firm, and it was
Nice.
started by dad, I think in the 70s, and then
Wow.
daughter took it over. Well,
Ooh,
worked there and then
okay.
took it over, and now she wants to transition it to her sons. And so
Okay.
they knew they needed help. They knew they wanted to, make it more efficient. She was still handling way too much of the day to day. I mean, copied on every email that went
Ooh,
out the door, right? You
wow.
can't do that. And
No.
so, and they have, we worked with them, we made them more efficient, we documented their processes, we clearly defined roles and who is responsible for what.
Nice.
And they have just excelled. She is able to work from home one day a week, which she wasn't. She leaves for the beach. They have a beach house. She can leave, I
Love
think,
it.
on Thursday and spends a
Nice.
weekend. Um, they have, like, every time I hear from them, their revenue just keeps going up.
Nice.
So it's really going well for them. So,
That's amazing.
mhm.
Sometimes it's those little things that you take for granted. You're a busy business owner and you're just doing things just to get it off your plate, just to do it. You don't realize how much time you could have back if you just get that stuff off your plate. So,
Yeah.
all right, final question. Tell us the kind of clients you look for, and are you national? Are you just in North Carolina, in Charlotte? Where are your clients?
My clients are anywhere. I mean, obviously, I have a valid passport,
Okay.
willing to travel.
Okay.
Um,
All
you know,
right.
I'm looking for people who want and need help. And so,
Okay.
sometimes a business could be crazy chaotic and the owner is oblivious to it, and so they don't
Yeah.
want help, right? A lot of times they are in a life transition, whether they're slowing down and they're like,
Mm,
I'm tired of this. I have a beach house. I want to enjoy it while I can still
right.
enjoy it. Or they realize, a lot of small business owners, our retirement is the
Mm,
value of that business, right? You need to
okay.
sell it. And so after consulting with, a financial advisor and it's like they come up with their retirement number, right? Here's the dollar amount that I need to retire and be good. The business isn't going to sell for that.
No.
You get a valuation. And so one way to increase the market value of your business is to really streamline, to create a playbook so that when you sell it, the business can keep running without your head and everything that's in your head. And so that's, another way. And, every year I forget how many baby boomers are looking to, right, get out of their small businesses. So, or even someone who buys one of these businesses, maybe they bought it and now it's how do I get this running better? I know I want to grow, and let's sit down and talk about how we can do that. So, yeah. But mostly it's people who recognize, I want to improve this, I want to make a change.
Nice. Awesome. Well, congratulations on all your success. Look
Thank
forward
you.
to seeing more posts about your travels and all your business ventures that you're doing. So congratulations on all that. And so great to talk with you today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.